On today's Warehouse Safety Tips Wednesday, we'll be covering how slow and steady wins the race, so stay tuned. Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. You can find the show notes to each episode, links to information mentioned on the podcast, the social media platforms we're on, and anything else related to the podcast at warehousesafetytips.com. Now, if you're a seasoned podcast listener, this podcast is going to be different from most you listen to. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money and each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the podcast. Before starting our podcast, we'd like to recognize Veterans Day 2020 and all the amazing veterans for their service, today and every day. Have you ever heard the phrase, slow and steady wins a race? It refers to the race between the tortoise and the hare, and there are a lot of similarities that you can draw from when it comes to productivity and safety. Rushing through almost anything generally causes corners to be cut. So obviously you want to make sure that the pace ensures stability and accuracy throughout your entire shift. We've covered this several times and will continue to cover it over and over because it's so important. When safety is ignored for even a second, that's when accidents can happen and tragedy can strike. You might think you know better and or feel that a rule isn't important, but it's not your place to decide. A decision like that affects you, your fellow staff, your facility, and production. You had to know we were going to side with the turtle. After all, it's the one wearing a safety shell for protection. All kidding aside, work hard, work smart, work safe, and you'll win the race. Before moving on, here's a word from one of our sponsors. If you've ever been to or worked in a warehouse, you know just how important safety is to both management and staff. It's almost impossible to go 10 steps without seeing safety tape, angles, signs, and or safety products. It's these items that show us how to be safe and avoid danger in the workplace. And if you're looking for the best products to make this happen, look no further than Mighty Line. Mighty Line floor signs and floor markings offer the best industrial products out there. We're proud to have Mighty Line as the official floor sign and floor marking company for the Warehouse Safety Tips podcast and site. Go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. If you visit warehousesafetytips.com, you'll find the show notes for this episode and access to all of our blog posts, previous podcasts, advertiser information, and much more. Thank you for listening to Warehouse Safety Tips and have a safe day.